So how have you found today? What workshops have you seen? How have the students been?
The students have been absolutely remarkable. I just gave a talk about, it was about life in the solar system, so really focused on missions they might be involved in. So we have a mission called Mars Sample Return, which is hopefully in the next 10 years or so will bring samples back from the surface of Mars. We've got a couple of spacecraft on the way to Jupiter as we speak, which will arrive in about 6 or 7 years, which is the time they might be PhD students. So I was talking about that. So, but then one of the questions was, and so someone was just listening and watching, and they said, if there is no life anywhere beyond Earth in the Milky Way galaxy, what is the point of the galaxy? So there's a deep question, right? This is a tremendous. So we had a philosophical discussion about the meaning of life, and so it's just one example of the remarkable, I suppose, the depth of thought that I've seen here, and I see at all these events. It's at the moment you seed an idea in the minds of students who are 14, 15, 16 years old. Their minds wander, and they ask some of the most profound and challenging philosophical questions that have been asked since the dawn of humanity, which was quite wonderful.
Amazing. And what do you think is the long-term effects of events like this? What do you think is what do you hope is the change, the long-term effects from events like this and the events that happen all across the country?
I think that the aim of these events is, because it's not, I talked about life in the solar system, but there are companies here, engineering companies, science companies, and so on. So the idea is to expose the students to ideas, and they can be abstract ideas, like what is the meaning of existence? But it could also be, I'd never thought of a career in, let's say, engineering, because they might not know what engineering is. Because as one of the house builders that's here said, engineering in this case might be about designing bricks that you can build sustainably, that have the right properties, insulation properties, and so on. And so there's chemistry, there's geology, there's thermodynamics, there's all of science in the design of a house brick. Now, how would a student know that? So the hope is that there'll be at least one thing, and hopefully many things, that capture their imagination, that give them a sense of something they might choose to do in the future.
And why do you think it's so important that both business and schools meet at events like this? If there was a business watching this and they're unsure whether they should get involved, or a school thinking they should visit, what's that message to them?
I think it's about a joined-up approach to all our futures. So it's an obvious statement when you think about it. You have young people here, tremendous amount of potential, as I mentioned earlier, curious and engaged and just excited about knowledge and about the prospects for the future. And so you have this reservoir of students. And then you have business, of course, that need those people. And so the idea really is to make links, to spark ideas in the students' minds, but also it's really important, actually. We have universities here and higher education, colleges as well. It's important that some students many of them perhaps, will not have ever interacted with someone from industry or from education or from research. And those personal links are really important, and they can be made here. So you might well get a student, if you're a business who comes here, you might get a few students, they might invite you to go and give a talk at the school. And part of the reason you should do that is then you can make links so those students can then ask you if they're worried about it. Maybe they're worried about going into engineering. Maybe they don't know what it means. Maybe they don't know what the career path is. Maybe they don't know anyone who works in those areas. And so a lot of it, I think, is about making personal connections, giving out your email address or the email address of your company, giving that to the schools and the people who talk about careers in schools. So I know that a lot of companies and schools do that anyway, but the personal link is what you can make at an event like this.